On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We are going to be shutting down some parts of government for good. And Trump's saying it's the Democratic parts. We're going to be talking about that. Got some interesting things happening around the world, certainly. The Nobel Prize issue, bunch of stuff to talk about. Plus, just some crazy states, crazy politicians, just cray-cray everywhere, all over the place. Starting it off right here because this is beautiful. And yes, we are a country of immigrants, legal immigrants, and they're proud to be Americans, not like the ones that are running around with flags from other countries.
Good afternoon, my friends. I just became an American citizen. I can call myself an American now. This is a huge achievement of my life. I fought like crazy tooth and nails. And I was through a long and tedious process, I might add, to get here. But it's finally time to call myself an American. I just took an oath of allegiance, and this is the best day of my life so far. I love this.
Best day of my life so far. Such a perfect way to state it, right? So far. And yes, sweetheart, it does get better. But that is so cool. Congratulations. I love it. Got a couple nasty storms going on out here in the Pacific, especially. One of them, they're talking about bringing in some moisture to Arizona. I believe that one's more in Baja area. We'll see. But this one here is out closer to Japan, and they're suggesting this one could actually bring down some very cold tropical air. This is an interesting typhoon. Needless to say, here's a little bit of information on it.
A storm system, once a powerful hurricane, is now descending on some of the driest parts of the U.S.
It's raising flash flood concerns across the Southwest.
Tropical storm Priscilla, downgraded from a hurricane, is moving toward Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Colorado, carrying heavy moisture that could bring a month's worth of rain in just days. Northern Arizona is most at risk, with 2 to 3 inches of rainfall expected around Flagstaff, a city south of the Grand Canyon, with heavier amounts possible in other locations, creating dangerous conditions in desert and canyon areas.
Officials are watching for flash floods, and communities are preparing by placing sandbags, releasing water from ponds, and monitoring low water crossings. The Havasupai tribe has a reservation in a gorge near the Grand Canyon that is very prone to flooding. The tribe has warned tourists in a social media post to avoid certain areas if it is raining or flooding and seek the higher ground.
What's the soup del dia? Yeah, soup of the day. We got some sprinkles this morning, like literally probably about 15 sprinkles. That was it. Like, it was stupid how little rain we got. But this super typhoon, Halong, which narrowly missed Japan this week, is expected to detrimentally influence weather patterns across the Pacific and western United States. While Tokyo avoided what could have been equivalent of a Cat 4 hurricane, meteorologists warned that the storm's remnants could drive heavy rain and snow in California by next week. So we'll see what happens. This is horrific. This is what the Ukrainians do. They retreated, okay, and they destroyed ammonia pipeline, an ammonia pipeline, which is toxic. It's poisonous. Now, they did it supposedly to try to keep the Russians from being able to come in there, but this just blows downwind. This blows all over Ukraine's land and Ukrainians. So how much do they care about their own people? Well, it doesn't seem like very much. It's just, this is horrific. I am hoping Russia's able to turn that off, this pipe or whatever, but man, that's a lot of toxic fumes. Really, I mean, just look at how bad that is. This is what Ukraine does, right? This is how they roll. It's not cool at all. Pro-paper ballot firm buys Dominion voting system. It's somebody that's quote-unquote, we're going to call them, I guess, Republicans. But let's not let that shade this, I guess. This is strange. Scott Leyendecker? He's a Missouri tech entrepreneur and former Republican director of the St. Louis City Board of Elections. He bought the company for an undisclosed amount. He's still planning, and something about paper ballots in there, but he's still planning on using the electronic components of Dominion. This is an attempt to rebrand. This hiding under a Republican. I don't buy this shit for a second. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so we'll keep tabs on this. The new company name, where are they? is certainly not Pro Paper Ballot. That's what it is. Pro Paper Ballot is the name of the company. So again, we'll keep tabs on this. Do not trust. We got to go to paper ballots completely. We don't need technology outside of that because the technology is what we don't trust. Federal judge has blocked President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Illinois. Anyone surprised? Probably not. But here's the story.
Legality of the National Guard deployment. A judge coming down with a ruling right now here within the last several minutes, saying the Judge Perry grants the TRO, blocking President Donald Trump's deployment of National Guard in Chicago, saying it violates the 10th and 14th Amendment of the Constitution. So major developments as you can see there, our Fox 32 team talking about this, blocking the deployment of these at this moment. Judge Perry appeared frustrated throughout the hearing today. This reporting from Parachutes saying at the defense's inability to answer specifics about the National Guard deployment and the definition there of rebellion. Perry, the judge, says the Broadview facility had seen small protests for 19 years, but things took a turn when Customs and Border Patrol announced increased enforcement. So big news as a judge has blocked the National Guard deployment there in Chicago as we are learning more information about this.
Yeah, so again, not surprised. And it's weird, the Oregon thing, that they didn't actually go for shutting off all the different... I forget what they called the three different points they were trying to make for why Trump wasn't allowed to do it. They were only going after the first one. And even the judges were like, why didn't you include the others? So they did. They stayed the one part, but not the others. That still keeps him from being able to put these troops in the streets. Now, this seems intentional to me. The timing of it, everything about it. So, I'm going to let it play out how it's supposed to. If someone ends up losing their job, then we'll know a bigger mistake was made. But I think there's some timings being worked out here. And so just kind of be mindful. We'll see. I don't think there's a lot of mistakes being made on our side of the fence. I mean, plans are always constantly evolving and changing. Nothing ever goes according to plan, ever. So this whole idea to trust the plan is constantly evolving, folks. Black Chicagoans are welcoming ICE and military protesters. This is pretty cool. Guy got a fist bump inside one of the stores. I got a lady here. We'll share a couple of these.
As the wife of a recently retired CPD officer, I think it was disgusting to see the police department, Chicago PD, get orders to stand down while domestic terrorists, let's call it what it is, were allowed to attack federal officers and stop them from doing their job. And to see Brandon Johnson and J.D. Pritzker go on TV and to try to justify this behavior, I believe, and I'm calling for the arrest and prosecution to the fullest extent of the law of Brandon Johnson, Governor Pritzker, Kwame Raoul, all of these elected officials who are allowing these terrorists, illegal aliens, Antifa, these domestic terrorists to wreak havoc in our communities. Because if it was the regular citizens, if it was American citizens, and we were attacking officers, we would be in jail, and the book would be thrown at us.
So again, you get the point, and it's well stated, right? Well stated. Another one, if the troops aren't sent to my city and make it safe, I welcome it.
I just got one question for people, and I just clearly want a good understanding. I understand the fact that you hate Donald Trump. A lot of y'all can't stand this man, don't even know him. A lot of you all just dislike him because somebody else don't like him, or somebody said something real weird about the guy, or whatever. You don't even study yourself to find out if it's facts or not. But if anybody want to send any troops anywhere to protect my city, my town, my state, my children, my grands, my friends, and my family, I am all for it, especially when the town is so full full of crimes. Chicago, Portland, California, all these different places. Do you all not want to feel safe? Or do you all just want to let it go ahead on like it is? And then some of you government officials that don't want the police to step in and everything, that's real sad. That's very sad. But at the end of the day, a lot of you all that are ignorant to the facts, I want you all to stop being ignorant to whatever it is that you think you know when you really don't.
I love it. I mean, this is the awakening, the mass awakening. You guys are just a number of steps ahead of most other people. That's why you're going to be so helpful. That's why we're the ones holding flashlights, essentially. Over that way, over that way. I mean, that's basically what we're here to do. A lot of people are getting tired of this. We don't need to play all this stuff. You get the point. Chicago grand jury. They refused to indict an armed and violent anti-ICE agitators. These guys literally attacked ICE. I believe they had weapons on them. Grand jury refused to indict the pair for assaulting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers and other federal agents at an area detention facility. Both Collins and Robledo were carrying loaded weapons during their attack on federal law enforcement. This is a grand jury that doesn't care about the safety of their streets. They care more about this ideology. We're literally trying to stop crime. Don't care what political spectrum you fall under. But we're not okay with the crime. This is, I mean, it's amazing to watch this all play out. Texas shopper was fatally shot outside a PetSmart. Apparently, someone didn't say thank you. They got in some sort of discussion out front. Then they be right back, and they come back, and they had a weapon, and they got in a fight. And needless to say, this lady got shot and killed. This one here, she was shot and killed by her. Now, again, multiple nasal piercings. That's going to tell me a lot. Red hair. It's also going to tell me a lot. It was in Dallas. It's going to tell me a lot right there. But yeah, PetSmart parking lot, and there you go. This happens. Very sad, but again, violence is not the answer, but whatever. People don't seem to get that right now. Just be careful. That's all I can say, guys. A man from Georgia has been arrested for tearing down a pro-Trump banner. This is kind of funny.
Here, this is Benjamin Campbell. He's from Atlanta and was arrested in Cobb County, Georgia. He's being held there, waiting to be extradited back to North Carolina. The Campbell faces multiple charges, including felony assault with a deadly weapon. Now, the entire encounter was caught on camera. We brought this to you weeks ago here on Fox Carolina News. You can see a man park at the business, then go across the street and tear down the Trump banner off of a sign. Now, this is from last month at the Paddle Inn Rafting Company in Swain County, North Carolina. The owner told Fox Carolina that he saw this happening live and went outside and fired his rifle twice in the air. Then, as the man drove off, video shows him raising his gun out of the sunroof of the car. See that there? The deputies say the suspect, Benjamin Campbell, is the man with the gun that you see in this video. Earlier this week, Swain County deputies traveled to Georgia.
This isn't, I mean, again, people are losing their minds. This is not the place to necessarily run out and try to confront people. You do not know what you're going to get. If you go looking for trouble, you will find it. Palisades arson suspect felt liberated. Amazing. After burning a Bible prior to destructive blaze. About a month before he started the fire, he apparently burned his Bible. I'm just telling you. It shows a pattern, that's for sure. Palisades Fire, LAFD, the fire department, after action report. Left out the entire thing about how that giant Santa Ynez reservoir was empty. Completely left it out. I don't know if it mentioned the fact that there was fire hydrants missing too. I mean, hopefully it caught that, but they were very hyper-focused on the reservoir. Again, big problem. Huge amount of water that wasn't there. They couldn't use it for helicopters and other stuff too. So, yeah, none of that's good. Anti-Trump New York Attorney General Letitia James indicted on mortgage fraud. They actually indicted her. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean, she's obviously making a lot of noise, talking about how it's political and all that. Oh, here it is, in fact.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
So, of course, Trump's just picking on her, right? That's exactly how this is playing out. But we know in reality that's not what's actually happening. We've got this Benjamin Campbell talking about this man in Georgia arrested for taking down this banner. I think we talked about that already, actually. There simply cannot be and will not be different rules for different people. Kash Patel put this out. One system of law and order from this FBI. And, of course, he was referencing Letitz James. There simply cannot be different rules for different people. This is when she was going after Trump. So, again, the words are coming back to haunt all of them, and that's just how it's going to be. The government is asking the court to order that Letitia James forfeit the assets involved in her fraud case. This is pretty serious stuff. Criminal forfeiture, meaning they'd have to give up the house. That's pretty extreme. I think, I don't know, that to me seems a wee bit extreme. Letitz James bank fraud case assigned to a Biden judge. Big Tish faces 30 years in prison. Yeah, we'll see if this guy even takes it serious. I don't know if a judge can just throw something out because he doesn't feel like doing it. That'd be curious. Obviously, they could appeal it, and he would have to have a damn good reason. But if fraud's been committed and they decide they don't want to see the case, that would be strange. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot going on, of course, in the big picture. This lady, this California, I want to play this because I got a good clip of her just being horrible all over the place. This chick is just a horrible chick. I hope to God she doesn't actually have a chance of becoming our governor. This is going to be frightening if she does.
I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. Lose. Get out of my shot. Because I'm a leader. Bernard, I need you to turn these off. These that are killing me. Yes, we should have. Yes. Okay, everybody, I'm not that dark. I'm running for governor because I'm a leader.
This allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity.
I'm a leader. So on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, did someone punch you? Like, water polo is a rough sport. I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened? And she said, Mom, Trump won. Trump's gonna win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion? This is from a 12-year-old. I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
What if I get raped and again, this is the kind of person that she is at home, obviously, right? That's just like crazy. 12-year-olds don't think like that. This was Libs of TikTok sharing this. Sent to me by my follower. Voters in multiple California counties, including San Francisco, are reporting that their ballots have holes, which reveal if they voted no on Prop 50. I actually went down and grabbed my ballot. Mine does not have holes in it. I am nowhere near where these people are, so maybe they are different ballots, but this is bad if you can actually tell whether it's no or yes. Obviously, try to put your envelope in there differently so they can't tell. I would assume if you face it one direction versus the other. Actually, you have to, though, because no, it's totally sealed on the front. I don't think you need to. I don't think it's got a window for the address. So just be cognizant if you do have holes in yours. Make sure that you're not actually giving up any information that might be used against you in a court of law. Trojan horse for partisan media. Seattle mayoral frontrunner wants to force taxpayers to subsidize biased news outlets. Literally wants to help some of the smaller stations, even some internet stations, because there's no more good liberal news out there anymore. So she literally wants to either raise property tax, is one of the things she was talking about doing, or capital gains tax, or a digital ad tax that they just want to add on tax on. People that live in Washington should be pissed off at this, especially anybody that lives near, was it Seattle that they're doing it? Yeah, Seattle mayor. Man, Seattle used to be such a beautiful city. So painful. Patrick Dugan exposes George Soros-funded Philadelphia district attorney and his assistant prosecutor, and they're dismissing cases. This is totally messed up. Check this out.
That's why these stores are leaving us. That's why you can't keep a store at 52nd Street or Kensington Avenue or Center City, Macy's, Wawa. 70% of the cases at times in front of me were withdrawn. Do you realize that 700 out of 1,000 cases that are charged never really have a day in court? 79% of carjackings don't really get a day in court. This doesn't make sense. Property crimes last year, 69% of them were withdrawn. This is prosecution discretion. The prosecutor's the one who can say it. Those new DAs, one of them was hiding above, standing on a toilet. One went into his bathroom vomiting because they weren't trained properly. This is not my words. You can go ahead and look this. These are newspaper articles of these new DAs who he went around nationally and grabbed, but they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, this is insane. This is just the information. 70% of the cases at times in front of me were withdrawn. 79% of carjackings never went to court. 69% of cases were withdrawn. This is what the blue cities are doing. It's craziness. Abigail Spanberger dodges on boys and girls bathrooms and refuses to back biological sex policy. This is Virginia governor debate going on here.
Rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex. You have 30 seconds.
My priority would be to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers and educators, are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community. And that is important. And I say that as a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools.
Exactly.
And as someone who used to investigate crimes against children. The way that we keep our children safe is by ensuring they are safe in schools, which includes funding law enforcement and public safety.
But Ms. Spanberger, the question was, would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
Yes. And my answer is...
Look at that jaw. That is a dude. That jaw, anyway.
...is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and educators and teachers in each community. It shouldn't be dictated by politicians.
It's entirely possible. It's just a very ugly woman. So I again, and that offends you. We had an explosion. I think it was out in Tennessee. A bomb factory is what they call it, which is an odd way to refer to this. It's a munitions factory, best I understand. They might make explosive devices, aka bombs, but anyway, it's a munitions factory. A munitions plant. You can see. Oh, I guess. We don't have any audio. Explosion just blowed up. Blowed up. Don't know why. There is a lot of debris. It's. I don't know how many people died. Like again, this can't be good. It is an explosive factory. It certainly could be sabotage. So let's not take away that possibility. But yeah, this is pretty bad to say the least. U.S. bailout of Argentina begins. Besant purchases pesos. Finalizes a $20 billion currency swap. Not a huge amount of money, and it will actually save Argentina, and this is basically backing their currency. Argentina was going through a huge problem. When Milei came in there and he did the whole chainsaw thing, and he basically went Doge happy, it helped, but there was so much damage already done. So this is the United States backing Argentina. Argentina is going to have our backs. So this, again, is probably a good choice. And this is kind of some of the stuff we used to do as good stewards of this planet back in the day. Market Watch, we are looking at a down day, and there are some reasons for that, by the way. We've got some very strange news. China is, for one. There's a rumor running around. I've got the story, but we'll get ahead of it a little. There's a rumor running around that Xi might have had a stroke. President Xi of China, Xi Jinping. And that would be a huge problem, obviously. In the stock market, and prices of gold and silver went spiking when that rumor came out yesterday. So here we are today. Gold and silver up. We're up over 4,000 with gold. Silver's up at 47.74 right now. Doing pretty good in the big picture. Again, folks, get out of their system. Any number of things are going on. Stability with the dollar is definitely not happening. Inflation's still going. We'll see what the Fed does when it comes to the rates, but ultimately inflation is a problem. You're losing buying power every second. That's why precious metals are so good. They actually lock in your buying power. Whatever you can buy with the amount of money you're sitting on right now in your 401k or your IRA, whatever you can buy with that, if you transition it to precious metals, you'll lock in that buying power. You'll be able to still buy that once we get through all this crazy that's going on right now. And that's really the big trick. You protect your wealth. Now, silver is definitely going up a little bit higher than just kind of with inflation. There's some multiplier. It's been held back for a lot of years. So there is a bit of equalization that's going to happen with silver. Silver is a great place to actually make a little money right now. And both silver and gold are up way more than stocks, way more than inflation. So there's been a bit of a fixing, if you will. So I want you guys to go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Look into how you can protect your wealth with precious metals. Tax-free, penalty-free. You can move the money sideways. If you cash it out and then try to do something with it, you're going to pay taxes and fees. You're going to get very little of your money. If you move it sideways, tax-free, penalty-free, my good friends at Goldco can help you do exactly that. They're going to give you up to 10% free silver. They're also going to give you a little cool little Ronald Reagan coin. It's like half ounce, got Ronald Reagan saluting on it. It's very cool. It's silver, 0.999% pure. You're also going to get your gold and silver protection kit, your precious metals IRA. Now, if you're still pumping money into a 401k or an IRA, and maybe your employer's matching, keep doing it. I'm not saying close it down. What I'm saying is divest your buying power out of it. One of the final things I'll say, and I've said this many, many times, but you could have bought a suit with a 1 ounce, a handmade, tailored suit with 1 ounce silver or gold coin back in the 30s. Today, you can buy a fully tailored suit with 1 ounce gold coin today. It holds the buying power. That's what happens. You protect it. Back in the day, it cost $30 to get a tailored suit. Now, it costs about $4,000. That's the difference in dollar amount. You're sitting dollar amount in your stocks. This holds buying power. Doesn't care what the dollar amount is. It will adjust as necessary for that. Go to drslikesgold.com. Take your retirement and protect it. Protect that buying power. Give yourself the best chance to do the most with it once we get through this craziness. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system while you can. And certainly before they get out of you. And they definitely are going to do that. A little bit of shutdown news going on. We got some Donald Trump stuff. We'll go ahead and play his different statements, speeches. Well, it's all in the same speech, but he made multiple statements that got chopped up. So we're going to do a few of these. Check it out.
But Chuck Schumer proclaimed this morning that every day gets better for them. No, every day it's actually getting worse for them. And they're having a rebellion in the Democrat Party because they want to stop. And if you saw all of Schumer's, I watched last night like 10 different times over the years, he said, you can't shut down government, you can't shut down. And now he's the one that shut it down. So this is a confession that he's acting not to serve the people, but to serve the partisan interests of his party.
Yeah, and that's all this is. That's all this is. I mean, it's going. I think it's going to play out. I think people are going to see it, but ultimately, yeah, they're going to spin it or try their best, and we're going to do our best to just offer up facts. And ultimately, yeah, deep state's going to have a hard time with this one. I think that's really where it's going to sit. Here's Trump continuing.
Republicans have voted repeatedly to pass a clean, nonpartisan bill to reopen our government, and remember, at the same funding levels, both parties have supported in the past. So. The radical Democrats have chosen to put the economy of our country. We have the best economy we've ever had. We had the best economy in my first term, but we have an economy that's blowing it away. And we have the Democrats are trying to obstruct. They don't want to have a good economy. I don't think they want to have a good country. That's why they try and stop our law enforcement from doing what we did in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, they just keep trying to stop us from doing what's best. And again, the way that plays out, the optics, it's the most important part, I think, of this whole big picture. As painful as it is to live through, it's really bad for the Dems right now. Really bad. Here's Trump doing more.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and the congressional Democrats are holding the entire federal government hostage. I will tell you, a lot of Democrats want to get this thing open too. They do. They're calling us, and they just want to get it open. And all we're doing is saying, just play the same thing until we get it straight. And they don't know how to go about it. I mean, and the problem is we really don't know who the hell is leading the Democrats. You have this AOC, I don't know her at all, but I watched her the other day. She said, well, if they want, they could come to my office. That's not leadership, you know. The only one that challenged her actually was Nancy Pelosi, and Nancy's not looking too good. I don't know what happened to Nancy, but she's not looking great. But she was the only one, I give her credit, she was the only one that challenged her. But AOC said that they can come to her office and negotiate, the Republicans. And we're saying, oh, I didn't know she was in leadership. But she's taking Hakeem Jeffries' place, and Schumer's afraid that she's going to run against him. And right now, I don't know, he can change, life is crazy, right? But right now he can't beat, I don't think he can beat anybody. So he'll lose in a primary. I would say he'll retire before he loses in a primary. So I think Schumer's going to retire because he can't beat anybody. His polls are so bad.
Again, Trump is not holding back, and that's kind of what the whole point of all this is, frankly. So here is Pam Bondi talking about how we're moving forward.
Despite the Democrat shutdown of our government, our law enforcement officers are out there working without paychecks, round the clock, to keep and make America safe. Secretary Hegseth and I were recently in Memphis. We had 1,100 law enforcement officers in one room with us. The Memphis PD, they were the happiest to see us, don't you think, Secretary Hegseth, of anyone? We had ATF, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals. I'm not sure if our park police were there. We had Treasury, Secretary Bessent, and of course we had Secretary Noem's Homeland Security, all working together with the Guard. They were so happy to have us there. We've been making arrests left and right. So far, we made 562 arrests and seized 144 illegal guns just in the short time we've been in Memphis.
And many of these people are career criminals. And when you take them out of a place, your crime rate just goes down. These people commit crimes every single day. They're sick. And we're taking them out. In some cases, we're bringing them back to their countries where Biden allowed, with the stupid open borders that we had in our country, to come in. But they're being brought back to other places, or they're being put in jail, but they're career criminals.
President Trump, last night alone, we made 91 arrests, 19 firearms off the streets, and one was a warrant for a homicide, and 4 sex offenders who had active warrants. One was a sex offender on a child. Everything we did in Memphis was worth it, in my opinion, for that one arrest. Think about that. We got a child rapist off the streets, but yet we've made 562 arrests and still going strong in Memphis. Just what we did in D.C. But it's because it's all of us. It's a team working for you to make America safe, all together, round the clock.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pam.
Thank
You're doing
you,
a great
President
job.
Trump.
And it's
As much as I get it, he's president. You got to suck ass to the president. It kind of sucks that they got to suck his ass so hard. Anyway, whatever. Here's Bernie Sanders, kind of, sort of, almost saying stuff that makes sense for once. I know, it's weird.
Where the Democratic leadership is right now is way, way, way out of touch with where working families and the majority of the people are. So either they get replaced, either there is a movement that says, thank you for what you've done, you're gone now. We need a new party that represents working people. Or else they hang on so tightly that they force the creation of another party, which is not easy in the United States.
No,
it's easier in the UK and other countries. But the current leadership of the Democratic Party is, as I mentioned, New York State is a perfect example, where there should be enthusiasm and excitement. There is fear that working class people, that ordinary people are going to get involved and threaten the existence of the leadership here, their power.
Yeah, he's not wrong. It hurts me to say it. In fact, I've got, I think, another example here. Jon Stewart's really pissed me off lately. He's no longer any sort of friend to people on the other side of the fence, or even in the center. He's 100% on board with the left. It bothers me a lot. I used to love this dude. Needless to say, this is the one time I've seen recently, we're only going to play about 2-3 minutes of it, where he was agreeing with us for a moment, and we'll just play that part. Ordinarily bipartisan. That's just weird in and of itself. Here's Trump. He's talking about cuts during the shutdown. We're at day 9 right now, I believe. Wow. 10, I guess, if you count the first. I don't know, whatever. 10 days of darkness? That was accident. I don't know. Maybe. Doubt it. But this is interesting.
Meanwhile, the Democrat shutdown is causing pain and suffering for hardworking Americans, including our military, our air traffic controllers, and impoverished mothers, people with young children, people that have to live not the greatest of lives. But we're doing so many tax cuts. We've cut their taxes. The great big beautiful bill, we've cut their taxes at levels that nobody's ever seen. I mean, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. It's been a great thing for a lot of people. They're doing great. Despite all of the damage that it's caused, the shutdown has been, pretty damaging. I mean, it's not yet because it's early, but it gets a little bit worse as it goes along. And we'll be making cuts that will be permanent. And we're only going to cut Democrat programs. I hate to tell you. I guess that makes sense. But we're only cutting Democrat programs. But we're going to start that. And we have Russell can talk to you about it if he wants to. But we'll be cutting some very popular Democrat programs that aren't popular with Republicans, frankly, because that's the way it works. They wanted to do this. So we'll give them a little taste of their own medicine.
Apparently the budget for tampons in boys' bathrooms has been reduced drastically. Yes, no, cut in half. Not all the way. No, because, you never know. You never know. They're good for bloody noses. Bet you didn't know that, guys. Some of you do. Those of you who played football probably do. It's a kind of a weird thing, but, I think once you get past the fact that, anyway. There's so many ways I could have gone on that. I was overwhelmed by options. Jake Sherman put this out. OMB director says mass government layoffs have begun. Russell Vogt is saying the same. The RIFs have begun. The rest in feces. That's not what it stands for. I think that's what it stands for. Could have looked it up. I did. It was a question that hit. That's part of my problem is I just come up with questions in the middle of my own show. For those of you that are like, Dan, why didn't you look it up? Because I didn't have the question when I first went through it. I've had time to mull it over. Yeah, that's a problem. Judge upholds state ban on transgender treatments for minors. It's upheld. North Dakota. Yeah, the Dakotas are getting it all involved. I'll never forget. We went to, when I was younger. It's a quick story. Went to North Dakota. I think it was North Dakota. It was north or south, one of them. We ended up on an Indian reservation. We were buying fireworks. It was close to the 4th of July. And there were so many fireworks that I knew, because I had a brother that we used to blow stuff up with fireworks, man. That was our thing. I knew fireworks. I was like a young, very smart child when it came to that. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, these don't have firecrackers in them. Anyway, we got all sorts of cool shit. My dad had no idea. He was so unhappy afterwards, but had fun. I mean, But needless to say, South Dakota, good job, good on you. Get that transgender washed off. The Department of Homeland Security on Friday revealed its ambitious smart wall plans for the U.S.-Mexico border. I guess they're going to add 1,422 miles. I don't know about you. There was this part of me that was under the impression that I thought the wall was almost mostly done. Like, I knew they were still sort of building it, but, I didn't realize there was 1,400 friggin' miles to go. Fuck, really? Damn. How many miles we got down there? I assume it's about half that we've got taken care of. They've got the budget for it already, $4.5 billion, and so it is happening. And there are certain places where they can't put wall because it's like crazy, like mountains and shit, so they're going to do sensors and all sorts of crazy stuff over there. Basically, little machine guns that pop out of the ground or out of a plant and just start shooting whoever's nearby. I just say that for any people that might think of sneaking across the border in those places. Wouldn't recommend it. You ever seen a cactus shoot at you? Nope. Has anyone talked about it before? No, they haven't, have they? No. Watch out for those cacti. DOJ opens probe in the First Brands shocking bankruptcy. Why did I pull this? virtually everyone due to their, what is this? AI. Big story of the week, if not the year. Said the first brand's bankruptcy where historical meltdown of Python. Why did I pull this? No idea. Part of me wants to say it's important. The other part of me is like, I have no idea why I pulled it. Like, there's so many things have happened since. They're opening a probe. A company, oh, that's what it is. They stole some money. They walked away with about $2 billion. Just, whoops, took $2 billion from people. This does look like the deep state was doing something and or maybe laundering money. There we go. That's why I pulled it up. Again, I've had some distractions today. Good stuff to a degree, but nonetheless, still sometimes things happen. Trump is bringing them home, right? The Jerusalem Post, very happy. Everyone's giving Trump a lot of love, right? But the Nobel Peace Prize did not give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. They gave it to someone that, did some cool stuff, but nowhere near to the levels. Here she is, right here. I love when she puts her hand right above her boob like that. It feels like it's smashing her boob down, doesn't it? Am I wrong? It feels like that one boob's really getting some squish. I'm liking it. It's just a thing. Whatever. Trump, after years of peacemaking, the award goes to her. This lovely lady she's got a crucifix on, right? She's got all sorts of necklaces. She's got those things. She's done a lot for Venezuela. She's running against Maduro. So she's not bad, like in any way, shape, or form. Like, it was cool that she got it, and it's a she. And that's kind of, extra special. The head of the Nobel Peace Prize tries to justify not honoring Trump. They said basically they had to take in the January 31st is when they made their decision. That was the deadline for nominations. Now, I'm not trying to give them cover, if you will, but if that's even sort of true, okay, it could have been delayed an extra 2 weeks. I mean, Trump didn't have a lot of the peace processes in place yet. So, all right. And frankly, I'll be honest, and even Trump, I think, kind of agrees. I'll be honest. I think it's stupid that we're worried about Trump getting a Nobel Peace Prize. And frankly, Mr. Trump, if you're worried about whether or not you do, and I don't think you do, you have a truth out, I'm going to share it. I don't think you care it either. I feel like it's a stupid distraction. Whatever. You are making peace. Who cares if they give you some stupid-ass, antiquated reward? Election Wizards even talking about this, shared this post. Putin responds to President Trump not winning the Nobel Prize. He says this award's lost credibility. The committee discussed the prize for people who have done nothing to this world. Yeah, nunca. He solves complex problems, crises that last for decades, and Trump solves them, and he's right. I'm not going to play it because it's just him talking Russian. That's going to be fun for the 4 people out there that speak Russian. So some breaking news. Maria Corina Machado, who leads the Venezuelan opposition against President Maduro, she just dedicated her Nobel Peace Prize to Trump. It's pretty cool, right? This recognition of struggle for all Venezuelans is a boost to conclude our task to conquer freedom. We're on the threshold of victory, and today, more than ever, we count on President Trump, the people of the United States, the people of Latin America, and the dramatic nations of the world as our principal allies to achieve freedom and democracy. Yep. So she was good, and she even chose a decent picture of Trump. I don't even think that's the real Trump, though. That's the wide-eye Trump with the white lips, because he doesn't like to burn his lips when he goes in the tanning bed. Weirdo. Donald Trump posted this. Thank you to President Putin. See, they're buds. He's pissed that this war's taken as long as it is. He's like, dude, get it done. But they're buddies. They're buddies. I don't know what's up with she, but they're buddies. Navy fires the USS Wyoming's submarine, their commanding officer. So just make it easy in the big picture. First off, there's 2 of these that have happened recently. A month ago, the USS Santa Barbara's blue crew lost their commanding officer as a loss of confidence as well. What's weird is this is also the blue crew for the USS Wyoming. Now, I doubt that the colors matter as far as the type of personality that's there. The best I understand it, a little digging, there's 2 crews on a submarine. I assume red. I don't know what the daytime crew is. I assume red, or I'm assuming it's daytime. I don't know. Blue, it's like, here's a little bit I know in the few video games I've played with submarines, which means it means nothing. When they do red lights, that helps you be able to see at night. It helps your eyes adjust to nighttime vision without screwing anything up, and you can still kind of see. So they use red lights. Now, typically, I've noticed that when you try to go ultra stealth or quiet, they typically go blue light. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that. I doubt it. You wouldn't just have a special crew for only when you're trying to run silent. But it is interesting that it's the blue crew in two different cases. Again, there's two crews, 12-hour shifts. They work their butts off, and so one crew for that's how it works. That's how it works. So we'll see. We'll see what we find out in the coming days. They've gotten rid of two of these people for lack of competence, which basically means they're DEI, or they were failing to do something or wouldn't do something that needed to be done. There was a test, I feel like, that was done at sea, and I feel like some people have failed. We're seeing some information here where the metastatic breast carcinoma, what the hell is this? Good Lord, dude. Oh, you're outside. Let me see. Hang on. There's a case of metastatic breast carcinoma, the skin expressing SARS-CoV-2 spike. What they're finding, it's just in a nutshell, is they're found some cancers that have metastasized, breast cancer specifically, and they've actually found that the spike protein seems to be embedded within the cancer. The spike protein, the cleavage site, for motorboating and for cancer and other things that are not healthy. Heart disease remains top cause of death in the U.S. Cancers and heart disease are the number 1 and 2. Interesting. Accidental injuries, those are things you can work on. Try not to step in front of buses. I want to point out what's super important, and that is the wellness company. I love these guys, first off. The Wellness Company. Well, that would be the wrong group right there. But TWC, The Wellness Company, twc.health/OTF. Let's talk about the last two slides I had, first off. Spike detox, okay? Any of you guys that rolled up your sleeve, you've got some spike proteins running around in you. You're maybe a little nervous about the potentiality of, metastasizing, but this doesn't necessarily help that, but this helps remove the spikes. Spikes, I think a lot of people suspect, are part of the problem. The Ultimate Spike Detox is designed literally to find that cleavage. It is a motorboating friend. It finds it, it attaches, it motorboats all day long, and it just pulls it out of your system. I'm just trying to make it fun. That's what it is. It finds the cleavage site. It's specifically looking for the spike protein. It's designed for that. It's one of the best supplements they make. If you're even remotely worried about that concept, get it. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity. We've also got heart health. So people talk about heart attacks. Yeah, you've actually got a whole set of products that will help your heart. Healthy heart, cardiovascular, blood flow, all that good stuff. Again, these are done. Doctors are involved. So your heart is super important. This has all the proper stuff in there to help make you safe and help keep you safe and keep you healthy, right? It's got all these different ingredients, right? Thiamine, HCl, riboflavin, vitamin B6, folate, biotin, pantothenic acid, selenium, and beetroot. Oh, and some taurine and grapeseed extract. Look at all that. Very powerful. It's going to help your heart. Now, we've also talked about antiparasites being tied to cancer. We've also found some cancers that respond to ivermectin in very strange ways, like they go away. So we've got a few different ways you can kind of hit that cancer question, maybe help at least, right? No guarantees on anything. You got doctors involved. This isn't anything strange. So you've got ivermectin collection. There's a number of different things. Of course, you've got the anti-parasitic, the ivermectin mebendazole. This is freaking awesome. Love it. I've noticed some very cool stuff. Up front, first off, but then I had a spot, a little circle thing. I don't know, it's about that big, and it had a line kind of in the middle of it. That circle went away pretty quick, actually. It took about 2 weeks, and it was totally gone. Like, it was totally gone. I didn't see the circle anymore. Then the line kind of stayed there for about another week and a half, and then the line's completely gone. I can't see the line anymore. So it's cleared up something that's why I bought it, because I'm like, that's new, that's growing faster than it should. I don't like that. I also have these red freckles. You can kind of see one there, maybe. They're really small. They're not huge, but I've got those all over, like my chest. Not all over. I don't know. I've got like 20 of them maybe total. A bunch of those turned dark. They're no longer red. And that's been since I started this ivermectin mebendazole stuff. So major going on there. And then you got ivermectin cream. That's skin cancer folks are finding all sorts of interesting stuff there. And then just regular ivermectin. Again, this is an antiviral. It does a lot of things, but Every time I've gotten the flu since I've had access to ivermectin, since COVID, essentially, I have immediately gotten rid of it. I think I had COVID once or twice and or flu once or twice. I don't know. I think I got COVID once. I never tested myself. I wasn't going to. That's stupid. I wasn't about to rape myself in the nose. But the second I took ivermectin, like I literally turned it around within 24 hours. The very next day I was feeling significantly better. And then literally from 24 hours from there, I was like, wow, this is a trip. So ivermectin's, it can be a lifesaver. There's also, if you're worried about that, the contagion kit. That's specifically all about antiviral. I mean, it's got hydroxychloroquine, it's got ivermectin, it's got the generic Tamiflu, which is also antiviral. It's got azithromycin, which is an antibiotic that I think is very specific for like the lungs and stuff like that. And then it's got budesonide, which is essentially that asthma medication that helps expand your airways. This thing will save your life. If you're one of these people that gets very nervous about flus, here's your contagion emergency kit. This is your protection. The second you feel like you're starting to get a little, hit it with ivermectin immediately, and you will trip. It won't even progress. You want to get it before it replicates so much, where there's so much of it in you that you very much feel sick. Like most of us get it when we're starting to get sick, starting to get a weird sniffle. You get that weird little thing in the back of your throat. You know it's coming, and then we sit there and tell ourselves, "Nah, I'm fine. I can tough through this." And then a day later, you're jacked. So don't waste the time. Hit it and quit it, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's powerful stuff. Go to twc.health/OTF. That's TWC, the wellness company. twc.health/OTF. Check out all that good stuff. Horrible earthquake in the Philippines. Bad. 7.4. Big giant one. There was a tsunami warning. This is in the very southern island by Davao. Anyway, this is where Maduro's city, where he's the mayor. This is where he lives, by the way. The guy that's in criminal court right now, international criminal court. So very strange stuff, and this is the area where it happened. I mean, maybe they're using earthquake weapons on Philippines. I doubt it, but they could be. Who knows? Seems weird. Sad place to have that happen. So yeah, 2 big earthquakes. There's some video. There's some damage. People died. It's not cool. I think they said this was 10 miles down, too, which is a very suspect depth. This is my favorite photo. There's no water, nothing, but this chick's crawling on this dude's back, and he's giving her a piggyback. She's got a nice bum. Let's be honest. You got a nice butt, sweetheart. But she, I don't know if she really needed to be carried. She's got good shoes. I don't understand this at all. She doesn't look injured. Nice butt. We wouldn't have gotten that otherwise. So thanks, I guess. Needless to say, yes, very bad, very bad. And I'm just poking fun. I guess I shouldn't be. Peru's Congress removes president from office. They overwhelmingly voted to remove her from office. It was overwhelming. I think everybody, all the people, 118 to nothing. 118, 0, 0. 118 voted. No, get her the F out. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on in Peru. It's kind of funny. There's this chick at the gym, and I was paying attention. She's got these little weird stuffed animals in their car. And one of them's she's got a Peru hat. And I'm like, oh, because she was talking to me the other day, and I was like, what the hell is that accent? So anyway, she's from Peru, I guess. She doesn't know my show, so I can speak freely. U.S. Finland strike a $6 billion icebreaker deal. We're going to be making, I think, 7 of them here and 4 of them there, or something to that effect. Yeah. Big, giant deal. This is huge. We need them. Trump's been talking about how we need to be able to get into the Arctic. The expectation that, I guess it's melting. We're going into winter, so theoretically it should start getting thicker. I don't know. There's something. It is the quickest way to travel, and the only thing that makes it hard for people that understand or accept this, I guess, whatever, is the compass doesn't like the North Pole. North Pole starts spinning around. Your compass as a backup is not very, very useful. But if you've got GPS and stuff, you don't necessarily need a compass. So you can kind of make it work. Whatever. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, Trump's made a sweet deal, and they're going to be building a bunch of icebreakers. Trump suggests throwing Spain out of NATO. They kicked us out of one of our bases kind of to be able to give stuff to Israel. I think that's one of the reasons why we're pissed at him. He's calling them the laggard in NATO. They didn't hit their 5% spending. He's like, maybe we should kick them out, NATO. What do you think? So Trump's pissed at Spain right now, amongst many other things. This is a trip to me, And it's just making some people nervous. This is happening. I guess this has been in the works since 2022. So something strange about this in the big picture. I'm not comfortable with this either. Most of us aren't. Hegseth doesn't seem to be. So I don't exactly know what's going on here. But, here's the news.
We also value the close cooperation between Doha and Washington that led to the signing of the Gaza Peace Plan on October 8th. This historic achievement underscores what can be accomplished when our nations work together with courage and trust, amongst other partners such as Egypt and Turkey. We further welcome today's signing of the letter of acceptance establishing a Qatari Emir Air Force facility and Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. This step strengthens interoperabilities, enhance joint readiness, and advance our shared defense goals. Mr. Secretary, together we will continue to deepen this strategic partnership in pursuit of lasting peace and shared security. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. We receive that.
Sign now.
Sign and trade. How about that?
Yeah.
Exchange.
Wow, who's got the squeakier pen? So anyway, we're letting them use one of our Air Force bases in Idaho. I think it was Idaho. Idaho. So we're going to be doing some very strategic potato protection. The Qataris are going to help us. Again, not sure. Air Force facility. What are they training with us? I'm hoping is what this is. Hoping. They're going to have some Qatari aircraft there because they're going to fly with our aircraft like that. Okay, I can see that. Maybe. Pavel Durov, he's a little pissed, and he's got a message to Europe. He says, I'm turning 41, but I don't feel like celebrating. Our generation is running out of time to save the free internet built for us by our fathers. What was once the promise of the free exchange of information is being turned into an ultimate tool of control. Once free, countries are introducing dystopian measures such as digital IDs, UK, online age checks, Australia, and mass scannings of private messages, European Union. Germany is prosecuting anyone who dares to criticize officials on the internet. The UK is imprisoning thousands for their tweets. France is criminally investigating tech leaders who defend freedom and privacy. A dark, dystopian world is approaching fast. While we're asleep, our generation risks going down in history as the last one that had freedoms and allowed them to be taken away. We've been fed a lie. We've been made to believe that the greatest fight of our generation is to destroy everything our forefathers left us: tradition, privacy, sovereignty, the free market, and free speech. By betraying the legacy of our ancestors, we've set ourselves on a path towards self-destruction, moral, intellectual, economic, and ultimately biological. So no, I'm not going to celebrate today. I'm running out of time. We are running out of time. 100%. The German mayor, this lady that got stabbed by her adopted son, well, come to find out, it was actually her adopted daughter that stabbed her. She was torturing her in the basement for many hours prior, and so, yeah, German mayor bringing in all sorts of strays, and the strays are attacking her. That's cool. Pakistan, they launched airstrikes apparently inside Kabul. Multiple reports say TTP chief Noor Wali Masood is dead. Don't know if it's true. Don't know at all. But Pakistan here, Afghanistan here, Kabul right here. I decided to pull up a map because it helps for certainly us Americans. So Pakistan had any number of places where they could have done this. Peshawar, which is kind of funny with the word war in there. Might have been where that attack came from. Who knows? Not far. But, yeah. And again, Trump is working with the Pakistanis right now. So, strange stuff afoot. IDF confirms Gaza ceasefire is now in effect after withdrawing troops to the Trump line. So, Israel has literally pulled back. We've got some video of the many, many Palestinian people that are coming back. So, very cool. But yeah, started pulling back. Again, just some pictures, helicopter dropping a flare or something. I don't know what that is. Tanks, like tanks. Tanks are fun. More tanks. There's not a tank. Yeah. And some blown up buildings. Probably tanks involved. And more blown up buildings. That's bombs and tanks and explosives. And so, yeah. Men dance and hold 4 items used as a symbol on the Jewish holiday of Sukkot as a plaza known as Hostages Square, following the announcement that Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first peace. It's amazing that we finally got peace after so many years. It's fantastic. Caroline Levitt put this out. There was a rumor floating around that there's 200 people are going to be sent to Israel to help be peacekeepers. That's not true. There's already people stationed at CENTCOM, Caroline Levitt lets us know, and so they're going to be monitoring. There's already people in place. We don't need to send anybody anywhere. Trump expected to go to Israel, possibly on Sunday, and address the Knesset, so we'll see if that happens. Also, tens of thousands of Palestinians returning to northern Gaza after the ceasefire takes effect. I hope nobody shoots rockets at anybody.
الصورة تستدعي الآن 1000 تعليق بطبيعة الحال. عودة الغزيين إلى ديارهم، إلى مناطقهم، إلى سكناهم.
Breaking unverified reports claims China's President Xi suffered a stroke. We don't know if this is true either. Stock markets reacted when this rumor came out. One individual was pushing this, that someone close to him. But what's strange is a day later, Trump posts something crazy. I don't know. Crazy is probably a strong word these days. But Donald Trump tweeted this out. Some very strange things are happening in China. They are becoming very hostile and sending letters to countries throughout the world that they want to impose export controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earths and virtually anything else they can think of, even if it's not manufactured in China. Nobody has ever seen anything like this, but essentially, it would clog the markets and make life difficult for virtually every country in the world, especially for China. We have been contacted by other countries who are extremely angry of this great trade hostility, which came out of nowhere. Our relationship with China over the past 6 months has been a very good one, thereby making this move on trade an even more surprising one. I have always felt that they've been lying in wait, and now, as usual, I have been proven right. There is no way that China should be allowed to hold the world captive, but that seems to have been their plan for quite some time, starting with the magnets and other elements that have been quietly amassed into somewhat of a monopoly position, a rather sinister and hostile move, to say the least. But the U.S. has monopoly positions also, much stronger and more far-reaching than China's. I have just not chosen to use them. There was never a reason for me to do so, until now. The letter they sent is many pages long and details with great specificity each and every element that they want to withhold from other nations. Things that were routine are no longer routine at all. I have not spoken to President Xi because there was no reason to do so. This was a real surprise, not only to me, but to all the leaders of the free world. I was to meet President Xi in 2 weeks at APEC in South Korea, but now there seems to be no reason to do so. The Chinese letters were especially inappropriate in that this was the day that, after 3,000 years of bedlam and fighting, there is peace in the Middle East. I wonder if that timing was coincidental. Depending on what China says about the hostile order that they have just put out, I will be forced, as President of the United States, to financially counter their move. For every element that they have been able to monopolize, we have 2. I never thought it would come to this, but perhaps, as with all things, the time has come. Ultimately, though potentially painful, it will be a very good thing, and in the end, for the USA, one of the policies that we are calculating at this moment is a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States of America. There are many other countermeasures that are, likewise, under serious consideration. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, understand, this is when the stock markets started crashing, is when Trump posted this. NASDAQ's down 4% right now, 4.33%. This is a pretty bad day at the office, right? It's just gotten worse. Dow's down almost 2%. S&P's 2.71 is down. So again, all of these broke at roughly about the same time. This bad news with China, and then, of course, it's caused gold and silver to, well, rebound a little bit, but certainly gold's up over 4,000, silver at 47.30. Again, this is crazy what's actually happening right now, and we are in a tough place. So let's see if I can find where I freaking was, though. So, yeah, there's Trump's, right? China sends Xi's second in command to challenge Russian dominance in North Korea. So, again, China's really trying to step on everybody's toes right now, including Russia's. That's not going to go well. It's going to drive Russia and us back together in an interesting way. Not sure what's going to happen with India, but I think India is collectively going to have to pull their heads out of their arses. Chinese A shares retreat as Beijing tightens battery export curbs and cracks down on NVIDIA chips. Yeah, the war is on. The war is majorly on. Things are going to get interesting. Your stock market, folks, sticking around in it. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out while you can. Chinese toy maker fined for spying on American children. Literally, they were. Toys. A lot of these toys have recording devices. They send this stuff back to China through Wi-Fi. If you've got a Wi-Fi device, yeah, you're sending stuff back to China probably. Kiev and 9 other regions have been plunged into darkness as Russian air war escalates. Also, Putin issues an apology. They shot down a jet, an Azerbaijani airline, killed a bunch of people. Ended up not killing everybody, which is surprising. 38 of the 67 people on board were killed. But Russia basically fell on the sword. It was an accident. They had a drone thing going on. Errant missile essentially took down this craft, or accidental targeting or whatever. Someone made a mistake, hit the plane, and a bunch of people died because of it. So Russia is going to be paying some money to help with that. Where mental health problems are most prevalent, well, there's quite a few places, believe it or not, but Australia is number 1. G'day, mate. Just living there where everything can kill you, it wouldn't surprise me. U.S. is at 41%, though. We're number 2. Nothing can kill you here, pretty much, unless you go into any Democrat city. Then, yeah, you for sure are probably going to die. Yeah, Great Britain, 38%. Canada, 37%. What is this, Germany? No, DE, what is it, Denmark? 32%. You get the point. So it's funny how our very Western worlds that I think China's screwing with us all heavily are the ones that have the most mental health problems. Again, it's just part of the problem with the way society is right now. 2 rare comets light up the October skies. And no, it's not 3i Atlas. It's actually 2 other ones that you've maybe heard of, maybe haven't. But again, comets are always considered harbingers of change. And gosh golly, there's so many of them lately.
Special treat this month as 2 newly discovered comets make their closest approaches to Earth.
The event promises a spectacular display in the night sky.
Comet Swan will make its closest approach to our planet on October 20th. Comet Lemon will swing within 55 million miles of Earth the next day.
And Swan won't reappear for another 650 to 700 years, and Lemon will remain out of sight for 1,300 years.
You can only see Swan in the early evenings, right after the sky gets dark.
Right now, those living in the northern hemisphere can see Lemon just before sunrise, but it will soon become visible only in the evenings. The window to catch them is very short, so.
Yep, so there you go. That's how that game's played. I think we got one other groundbreaking new image of 2 real black holes. Kind of cool. This is what they actually look like. There's a lot of light around them because the Schwarzschild radius, it brings in all the light, and so that's what you see. That's what reflects back. Again, it's people that, believe in the larger universe. All said. Interesting. This is not quite what it looks like, but essentially it is 2 black holes that are likely orbiting in proximity, which is kind of a crazy concept. And it would be very cool if 2 black holes actually spun in on each other. That would be phenomenal. So who knows what would happen then? That'd be pretty crazy. I bet it would produce a giant amount of energy. That's what I'm thinking. And finally, Barron Trump has apparently been tipped for a leading role at TikTok. That's interesting. He's supposedly really good at that and helped make a big difference for Donald Trump and his campaign with younger people. So this is interesting that Barron's going to go there, especially leading into the election. It'll be fun to see how that all plays out. All said, lots happening, and I've got a great music show kicking off here in about 47 minutes. Been a lot going on today. I even woke up an hour early so I could try to get all this done. I'm barely going to make it. It's awesome. But yeah, we've got Live Girls of Rock coming up in just about 40 minutes from this moment in time. Most of you guys will not even see this video yet, but we'll see. We'll try to get it up. I love you guys. We're going to continue fighting on, and I'll even put myself on the screen just to remind you, where we go one, we freaking go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.